Hi and welcome to my book review video. In this video, I will be reviewing and analyzing the book I've chosen. It's titled The Happiness Track by Seppala. So just a bit of an introduction about her. She holds a PhD in psychology and is the director of the Center for Compassion and Altruism Research and Education at Stanford University in California, and is also the director of the Yale College Emotional Intelligence Project in Connecticut, USA. Additionally, she is also a leading expert on well-being, health psychology, as well as resilience. Now, the underlying topic or idea of this book is basically this: the key to success or key to living a successful life. I mean, who does not want to be successful? It is everyone's goal and something that people want to achieve. Seppala argues that people's notions about being successful or living a successful life, whether we realize it or not, are shaped by the society that we live in now. We are all surrounded by what the author says is false views and beliefs about happiness, stress, and success. An example would be like, happiness is merely a reward if we are successful in the future, or something like stress is often seen as a necessary stop in the path of success, and so on and so on. So Seppala summarized these misconceptions regarding these topics into the six false major theories that she explains in the beginning of the book. Seppala asserts that while these theories can lead people to short outward success, these are unsustainable and can lead to burnout and happiness. But being happy, as a matter of fact, is very important in being successful. She explains further that happiness isn't the outcome of success, but rather its precursor. This means that happiness is what causes success to occur in one's life. And through practical examples, relevant supporting anecdotes, and psychological researches, this book explores how our mind and our body work together and how we can use these facts to find a true path to happiness. And from pretending you're a child to making sure that both your nostrils are unclogged, you learn practical ways to live a brighter and happier life. Now, what does this book have to do with us, students of organizational behavior? This book does not specifically target certain groups of audiences. Instead, it is suited for people from all ages. Thus, this book reminds us that these false theories of the drivers of a successful life are indeed false. Living a successful life is actually very simple. Knowing these topics explained in this book might also be key in completing this unit or even other units we are enrolled in this semester. Furthermore, this book might be useful for students who might soon enter the professional world. And since stress may be ever present, we'll be ready to handle it at unexpected times and know the way out. Certainly, by simply being happy, it will really help us in dealing with things. After reading this book, I could take 3 important lessons, ideas that I got, and that personally impact me as an individual. First one is that both happiness and success are not something that are to be found in the future. As said earlier, happiness is not the outcome of success, but rather the precursor of success itself. This needs to be noted because to live a successful life, you must be living in the present moment, which is now. Seppala asserts that we are to stop chasing the future and focus on the present. Instead of always thinking about what's next on a to-do list, focus on the task or conversation at hand. You'll become not only more productive, but also more charismatic. Why does focusing on the future may seem to be a productive thing to do, but rather it is actually not? It is because it reduces your attention in the present moment, making you more likely to miss out significant things that are happening now. This lack of presence can cause problems with relationships at work and home. What's worse is, thinking about what lies ahead can leave you emotionally drained. So how do we do this? First is to remove unnecessary distractions. Try to declutter your workspace or silence your mobile phone when you're working. Or maybe try doing some meditation. Letting go of all your current thoughts, you'll become calmer and more attentive to the world surrounding you. Before I read this book, I was thinking too much about how to meet deadlines and whether I would be able to finish it on time. Well, I didn't quite focus on the present moment, but after reading this, I realized that instead of thinking too much about how to get things done, we need to actually get to it and do it. Another interesting idea is that a successful life can happen without having to experience stress. Many people think stress is a necessary fuel to stroke certain behaviors such as ambitions or personal achievement. Too much stress can harm the body and can also lead to illness and stress in people around you. Emotions are very contagious. When your friend is anxious or in stress, for example, that person's stress is bringing everyone down too. So there is no benefit of being very stressful. Research from Stanford University even finds that people who regularly suppress negative emotions will generally experience more negative emotions overall than the positive emotions themselves. Seppala explains that in order to handle stress and anxiety, we need to change our breathing and control it accordingly. For example, doing slow-paced activity will also help. I personally have experienced some stressful moments in life, but have never experienced such a huge stress that I can handle. Even so, I still can find this idea very useful in order for me to cope with stress in the future. And the last idea is to stop focusing on only yourself and start showing compassion to others. Instead of remaining focused on yourself, start to show compassion to others and care about your surroundings. Focusing too much on yourself can have negative effects, such as making you a poorer judge of people, generally less liked by other people, and can even make you sick. So the author mentions that we should start showing compassion by being sensitive to others and acknowledging the distress of others. According to her also, this is the key to living a life full of meaning and purpose. Being kind to others and care about them will not do any harm to you. Overall, the book is a must-read and is of a high-quality content. The content flows very well from one theory to another theory, chapter to chapter, but there are two criticisms regarding the content of the book that I need to address. Even though the ideas contained in this book are very good and relevant, mostly the ideas written by Seppala are quite a bit of a common knowledge or common sense, something that everyone have already known previously, especially from other books of the similar type and theme. Some information that are written in the book can also be found easily on the internet. The topics about being kind, being empathetic, focused on others to help yourself are not something that are new, at least for me, or probably some other people too. Although the author has had a few of her own original ideas, I would suggest that the author could cut out or reduce the amount of ideas that may seem to be very common to the general population and try to add more of a unique ideas and something that people haven't already known before. Next, the book also talks about this theory called focusing on your niche. In the beginning of the video, I've mentioned that Seppala summarizes these false misconceptions about success in what she calls the 6 major false theories about success. The topic that I'm about to criticize is from one of that. And however, I personally think that that idea is not actually true. People should focus on what they do best, and this is actually right. It is true that people can try to do well in any other fields they're not good at, but I believe that the outcome will not be as perfect as developing skills in the field that the person is good at. In order to come up with the most innovative solutions in your own field, you need to be a master of it. If you have a great skill in cooking delicious food, then develop that skill. Be good at it. Create more and more new recipes for various types of food. Being creative and producing innovative and useful solutions in our field will consequently make us happier, therefore leading to a more successful life. Regardless of all the criticisms and negative things about the book, I can still share 3 practical advices for the readers, which is students enrolled in this unit. First advice is show that you care with words. Be compassionate. Care about others. Be kinder to people in your surroundings. Research has shown that being kinder improves business success, relationship bonds, as well as your personal happiness. More or less, this will eventually lead to a successful life. This is also important for your relationship health with your friends or even family members. Create a positive impact for others and you'll be happier. Next one is you need to learn to live a less stressful life, since this is the key to a successful life. As explained earlier, stress can bring many harm and negative effects not only into your lives but also the life of others. Just live life to its fullest, go with the flow and whatever life brings you. If problems arise, go ahead and face it instead of thinking too much. Finally, students have to know that in order to be successful, you don't have to sacrifice happiness. You can be happy in order to be successful. In fact, happiness is the key to a successful life. Maybe you'll ask, then what can I do to be happy? All have been explained. Live in the present, do not be stressful, and try your best to care for people around you. That's the end of my book review video. I hope you can enjoy and take something from this video. Thank you.